This is Hot Mic. Hot Mic. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Wednesday morning Hump Day show rolls on. We'll chat some college football recruit news coming up in about a half hour. The Gophers landing Roman Voss out of Jackson County Central over Alabama. Big news for a lot of Gopher fans in this part of the world. That's coming up in about a half hour. Pumped to have our next guest on. Obviously, we followed the great run that the North Dakota State baseball team went on over the last 6 weeks of the season, culminating in a Summer League Tournament championship, a win in the NCAA tournament after they knocked off Kansas and lost a heartbreaker to Creighton. After that, the portal opened and 6 standout players departed, including our next guest, who is going from Portland, North Dakota, to the SEC in Oxford, Mississippi, as Landon Koenig joins us on the show this morning. Congratulations, my man. It's still kind of, I saw it, I'm like, holy cow, SEC. You're living it. So has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it'll sink in once we get down there. And, it's been the first week, get the first practices in and just kind of meet everyone and kind of go through that first little time. But, yeah, it's a really cool opportunity and just incredibly blessed for it.
All right, so give us the lowdown, bud. After the season ends, is transferring at the top of your mind, or how did this all come about?
Yeah, I would say for the last, 3 weeks, no one had anything on their mind but playing baseball. It was just go as deep as you can and win as many games as you can. And then, after that, there's just no plans. That's all you have to do. And then after the year comes, yeah, it was I felt like that was the right opportunity for me. I think with my situation individually, I think that gave me the best opportunity to achieve some of my goals. So I think it was the second day was open. I went in and, then the chaos kind of started.
We've heard this on the football, certainly in basketball route. I've not talked to anybody in baseball. Can you describe what that was like? I mean, the phone blowing up, what was the few days after that like for you?
Yeah, so I think I got in around 3 p.m. on the second day. And that day was super busy. It was about till 9:30 I was on the phone. And then every day after that, it was pretty much scheduled 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. And it'd be a combination of emails, phone calls, texts, just kind of whatever. And it was schools from an array. You'd have some D2 schools reach out, but then you'd have every conference kind of in the middle, and then you'd have every conference up top. It was just kind of a big spread. So it was super interesting kind of to see everyone's kind of a little sales pitch right away.
Yeah.
But then really seeing through that, that's when you really met some amazing people and you really got some cool connections.
Did they know anything about you, Landon? Could you discern, okay, this guy actually knows something about me, or this one just read something on the website? Could you tell?
A little bit, but it's tough. They're good at their job. But there are some guys from the area, especially from the Midwest, upper Midwest, that maybe have heard about me or knew me a little bit or talked to somebody that did know me. So there were some of those conversations, and it was kind of cool. It's a really small world once you get talking about it. You get a lot of similar connections and people But yeah, honestly, it was more than I thought. People knew a lot, and it was super cool to have those conversations.
All right, so what are you looking to hear? I guess what's your music to your ears about? Okay, I'd be interested in this school. Was there anything you had on a sheet of paper? I want to hear this.
Yeah, not necessarily, but I had a priority list.
Yeah.
So I think first and foremost for me was individual development and a history of that. Taking guys from, a good starting pitcher, a good pitcher in college baseball to an elite level where you can go have a long career in professional baseball. Because I think for most players at this level now, and certainly for me, that's my goal. And, there's tons of steps along the way to get there. But that was first and foremost. Secondly was the people, the right fit. I think you have to have that because that makes the whole process of working your tail off every day and just having putting your nose down and grinding every day. It makes it so much easier when everyone around you has the same goal. Then thirdly, it was just the opportunity to someone see me as the starting role and then going and earning that. Because I think you get limited when you get brought in as a pen guy.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly going into an opportunity where their starting position is open and they see you in that role and a guy that can fit that and make a meaningful impact right away.
So why Ole Miss? Obviously, they must have checked all the boxes you just talked about, but what stood out when you heard from them?
Yeah, I think their pitching coach is great. Their phone calls I had right away with Lafferty and Mangrum. They were some of my best phone calls immediately. I made a list of schools kind of before I went on visits, and they were right at the top. So I think for me, it was the fit with the people, and then when you get down there and you actually hear what they're going to do with you in their everyday process, and then obviously like it's a cool environment down there.
Yeah.
But I think there is a lot of cool environments, and you can't get sucked into that. So I think for me, really honing down to my priority list and going with the development, the people, and the opportunity, I thought it was the best fit for me.
You've matched up with some SEC schools. Obviously, in your time at NDSU, you know full well the level of baseball. How intimidating, how challenging, how much do you welcome that kind of challenge for where you're going to go?
Yeah, no, I think it's cool because I think everyone at this level, especially now, wants to be a good major leaguer. And I think that is only going to push everyone in there, in that conference and in those vicinities to become the best version of themselves. And I think that's what I hope that happens to me. I want to go out in there and prove that I belong, and go earn my spot, earn an opportunity, and work my tail off throughout the year and help me get to the end goal and go to Omaha.
What was eye-opening or surprising about this whole process for you?
I think it was just the amount of teams and how hard those coaches work. Like those coaches are relentless. There'd be some schools I get 3-4 calls a day from the same one. There was just kind of some differences in how they went about it.
Yeah.
Because there are some schools that would throw they would just tell you you're going to be this. They'd promise stuff, and that was a pretty big turnoff to me. Just because I know it's not true. I've been around college baseball long enough, but that's not how it works. But that was kind of eye opening, kind of to see how everyone went about their business differently. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of genuine people out there. There's a lot of good people in college baseball.
Okay, so let me go back. So were they promising like amount of starts or how many innings? Is that what you're talking about on the phone call?
Yeah, it would be like a Friday starter.
Yeah,
they'd say some other stuff kind of along the lines of like a role or an opportunity or what they have for you resources wise, kind of some stuff like that. And that's just not how it works. So
you saw through that one right away, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's no matter where you are in college baseball, if you're not doing well, they got to put the best product on the field. So
you mentioned your role this year, that you were the number 3 guy last season. You were mainly out of the bullpen this year. How do you feel like that changed the way you pitched, or how did that maybe even elevate that you came in, you pitched obviously the game against Arkansas. I'm sure that caught people's attentions for how well you pitched in that game, that you had to transition your role this season.
Right. I think that was one of the reasons that this decision kind of came into the prospect for me. I think it was kind of surprising right away when we talked about it, and I really wasn't for it. I thought I could impact the team more in the starting role, and I think this year we bounced back. We had just a couple of different options. We never had it stable. So I think like that would, for me, especially this year, would have been a good fit. But saw it differently and was in the pen, and then I think. From the first month and a half, just trying to get used to it, like knowing when you come in, how your warm up routine's going to go, and then through the winter you kind of build it, and this season you really test it out, see what works, and then towards the end of the year, middle of the year, I kind of figured out what works for me, knew what situations I was going to go in, and that made it a lot easier. But I think coming out of the pen changes the way you pitch. I think when you're planning on seeing a lineup 3 times in the starting rotation, you mix more, you show different patterns. So I think for me, that kind of hurt me in the pen a little bit that way.
I look at it, Landon, where the guys that went in all landed at Power 4 schools. What kind of tells you the level of talent that was at NDSU this year?
Yeah, I think it not only speaks to the talent, but just like the genuine people that we have at NDSU. Just like really good dudes. Like they're just good people outside of baseball. And then obviously they're very talented. Like being at NDSU, you have the blue collar, you have the work ethic, you have all that. And then it's just a matter of going and doing it. And I think the guys we had, especially on last year's team, they're just great dudes and ton of work ethic, and obviously they're really skilled. But like a lot of lifelong friends that sadly aren't going to be at school with me next year. But we'll stay close and we'll keep talking.
So you and I chatted last year about your whole recruitment, about no one really knew about you. Now you're going from Mayport CG to next year pitching at Ole Miss. Has that computed yet?
Yeah, not really. It's all been so fast. I think the last 2 years for me have been big. I think just developing as a baseball player, as a person, and then getting this opportunity. I'm just incredibly blessed. I couldn't have seen this coming, but I think now that I'm in this position, just being super grateful and like looking back and reflecting on the opportunities I've had and the opportunities I have going forward, it really means a lot. It's super special.
You've been on the phone. Has the dad been able to drag you out on the farm at all, or what?
Yeah, not too much. We're just picking up stuff from the storm right now. But we'll probably have to replant a little bit, and we're just picking up trees and we had a couple buildings fall.
Okay, I was going to ask
how
bad did it get up there?
Yeah, we lost a hay barn and we lost another shed.
Wow.
But just a ton of trees. Yeah, I mean, people have it way worse than us. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people that have lost everything, lost their homes. People lost their lives, but we're just lucky nothing serious happened. No one got hurt, so.
I have to ask, seeing LSU win the national championship this past weekend, knowing you pitched against them, you guys played them. How do you feel about that? We played them. We had the lead on them. I mean, how do you feel about that, seeing that they won the whole thing?
Yeah, it kind of sucks because we could have won that game. A few things don't go your way, but yeah, no, it's cool. I think kind of through this process, when you talk to some of these coaches, that are still playing, and like you call them before they play that day and kind of just talk to them about the game or whatever. And, it's super cool. Like, especially with them, like there's a lot of good dudes there and obviously they're really good. But just like the people you meet when you play college baseball, it's really special. But yeah, like being in opportunities like that and having the environments that you do in the early season in NDSU, it really helps you get ready for for your long season and hopefully a long career playing baseball.
Knowing, Landon, that's going to be the regular. That's what you're facing. It's no longer you're going to get Omaha, and no slight to Omaha or Northern Colorado. It's going to be LSU. It's going to be Alabama. It's going to be Arkansas every time out. What mental challenge is that going to be for you?
No, I think you have to welcome it. Like if you don't want to compete against the best, I think you're in the wrong thing. I think when you go and play at the highest level of college sports and anything, you have to welcome that, and to me, that's exciting. I want to go be against that competition every day. I want to have a routine that is up and up against the best. And I think proving that on a daily basis will be super crucial for me next year, and then also just like my development in the future.
So what's ahead for people know here? What's the timeline of when you got to get to Oxford?
Yeah, I'll probably head down there mid-July, after the 4th of July, somewhere around there. Not sure on an exact date, but just been working out, been throwing, and doing mobility, arm care, soft tissue stuff. Kind of just get my body ready in a good spot for the fall. Staying in shape from the season. But yeah, I'll build back up for throwing. Get down there mid-July. And then just get ready for the fall and get to work.
How much did Coach Bianco know about you? Like, how much interaction did you have prior to going down there?
Yeah, I actually didn't talk to him prior to going down there. But I had a lot of hours of phone calls. I
think we froze up there for a second, bud. That's all right. We're going to go anyway. If you can hear me, bud. Thanks for doing this, and congratulations. Landon Koenig there from Portland, North Dakota, on transferring. He's heading from North Dakota State to Ole Miss to continue his baseball career there. And it's been a shot up since he arrived at NDSU. And I really appreciate how forthright he was with his role, that there was some displeasure there. He was not the number 3 option like he was in 2024. I haven't spoken to Tyler Oaks or Brandon Hunt, the assistant coach, on that. If that was a legit gripe or how that all played out, I can't give you any inside intel there. Knowing that there was going to be a handful of guys that were going to potentially move on, that's kind of the deal. Sorry, we got him back. Sorry, bud. You were talking about your relationship or what you're talking with the Ole Miss coach before heading down there.
Yeah, sorry, I just
That's all
froze
right.
there. Yeah, I talked to him a lot over the phone. I didn't talk to Bianco personally, but when we got down there, we sat down in his office for um, probably an hour and a half, an hour. We had a really good talk, and it wasn't just really about me or like baseball stuff. It was just getting to know him and just talking. And I think that was really cool. It kind of speaks like how they go about their business. Um, they build the relationship with you, so it's super easy to work hard for them and in that program. So I think that's what I'm excited for.
To have this over and done with now, how excited are you now to know, okay, this is my immediate future?
Yeah, it's a relief. Honestly, like it was a little stressful.
Yeah.
But then once you kind of get your priorities back in check and you figure out, okay, do I really see myself at this place? Is it really worth taking another phone call? And that was kind of the thing for me. I took too many phone calls right away, just trying to like talk to everyone and build relationships, kind of see where everyone's at. But then towards the end, it was super relieving to have. For me, I had 3 or 4 schools that I was really interested in, and I could really see myself in. So I think that was a big blessing for me, just having the opportunity to be at 3 places, 4 places that I can really see myself and flourish there and get to my goals. So I think for me, it was kind of just narrowing down relationships, their process, and how they go about their business. So that's kind of how I made a decision. But yeah, it's super relieving to have it over, and but I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's great to see you, bud. Congratulations, and we'll catch up when you get down there, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you, Dom.
Appreciate it, bud. Landon Koenig joining us from Portland, North Dakota, as he's heading to the SEC and Ole Miss. The Rebels just looking, and I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a great Ole Miss baseball mind. 43-21 this past season. Of course, another dynamite team in the SEC made it to the tournament. They actually had their run ended by one Murray State. Crazy run that the Racers made all the way to the College World Series. They beat them in the regional. It was in Oxford, and Koenig's going there. And just to wrap up my one point on what he was talking about, do I know that's the case with Davis Hamilton, with Nolan Johnson, with Jake Schaffner? No. I think that was probably unique to Landon's situation there. Schaffner, I think all of us knew, watching Jake play the last couple of years, his trajectory was going to be beyond NDSU. I don't think there was any surprise he ended up at North Carolina. Nolan Johnson has, I think, a year left. Logan Knight went to Cincinnati. Logan Johnson's at TCU. Davis Hamilton went to Minnesota. Now Logan is going to Ole Miss. That's how much they're going to get. That's the other question that's out there. I'm sure Schaffner got quite a bit. Not sure about these other guys, but if they're going to those kind of programs, sure they're not getting zero. It's not the way it works, but I'm sure there was maybe some, at least for Logan, some dissatisfaction in what his role was going to be for this year, maybe going forward. You don't know. That's a question maybe for another time when we have Tyler Oakes to discuss it. Either way, he's now in the SEC, and we appreciate his time, and we'll be keeping an eye once the 2026 spring season gets going next February. We're due for a break. We caught up here on a couple of things, including Wisconsin still doesn't want to have a shot clock in high school basketball. What's going on in your state? North Dakota, Minnesota's got it. Wisconsin can't. It's coming up when Hot Mike returns after this.